Hi, who will give me dollar for my cheese? Friends, we are here once again with another topic of interest. This time we will talk a little about the economy, because what is the economy? Well, friends, let's start our topic of interest now. Paying taxes and more taxes. Let's talk about the economy, specifically my monthly paycheck. From that hamburger that I buy with great pride. Money that comes from that paycheck that is the fruit of my work, perhaps 30 years of work or more in those times of my youth. We could say that this money is what we use to manage our budget. If we have organized our inflows and outflows of money, it is the product of the work that we have developed for 20 or 30 years. My time of productivity has passed. How old are we? 50 or 60 years old. Maybe 70 or 80 years old. Now we are retired, and for sure we already have that desired monthly check. That monthly check payment that was the product of the work of those hard-working hands in those my times of productivity. But time has passed. Now we see life from a different angle. Now we see it from the window, perhaps sitting in a rocking chair. But who is going to work for me, so I can have that monthly paycheck? Maybe my children? No. They have to work for themselves to cover their own expenses. Well, there is the monthly check. If there is a war or a conflict, goodbye monthly check payment. The government will not be able to pay that usual amount. And what is going to happen? There will be many complaints about why there is no money in the government treasury. That is why it is important to preserve peace, individual peace, public peace, peace of the country and the world. And above all, have that economy going. Where is the U.S. workforce? Regarding immigrants, now in 2023 and 2024, due to the last government closing the borders to commerce and leaving companies without workers, the economy has declined. A company without workers cannot have enough production, therefore the economy declines. The current president, President Biden, has made a desperate effort to bring young immigrants. He has brought that working force so that the people who have already retired, those people who today are 60 to 80 or older and enjoy that monthly check of retirement, they can still have that check. But sometimes from the comfort of home, you can't see much. And sometimes the fight to have public control in personal favor, as well as those who are rich and do not mind bringing poverty to the country, as long as they manage politics in their favor, or favoring the rich more than the poor, those who work. But as we said, the working force from the 40s onwards has already retired. Now who is going to work? Who is going to be the productive force? The reason for me to have my monthly check? My cheese. That cheese for my burger? Or that burger? I have the answer. Since the beginning of time, since the beginning of history, immigrants came to make the country great. Now it is a great country, being an example of freedom and prosperity for the world, although dark forces try to tarnish it. That progress. Democracy is something fabulous. Democracy is for people. Democracy is those workers earning their daily bread, contributing to the growth of the economy, and if any state wants to grow it has to make those immigrants come to that production force, thus activating its own economy. It's like a doctor. What is a doctor going to be if he doesn't have patients to care for, or a teacher without students? Or a soldier without a rifle, just like a teacher without a pencil to write? What is this country going to do without that working force, without those strong and productive hands? President Biden, good job. We must welcome these immigrants, the country's working force, so that I can continue to have that check for my monthly payment. If not, who will pay for my hamburger? Who will pay for my cheese? My rest would be compromised. And now, friends, what do you think of this topic of interest? A country made by immigrants. Can it survive without that young and hardworking immigrant hand, without poverty and depression touching it? Then immigrants will have to be accepted as part of society. And friends, this is how we finished. I hope the best for you and waiting for your comments. Be well, and now I can say, see you on the next topic of interest. And thank you for your attention. See you around.